Hello everybody, welcome to the channel. This is kind of a part 2 on the 62 Strat build. Got a video out, the first video where I showed that I was making a replica of a 62 Strat from a ST362 Squire made in Japan. Since that video, I've stripped down the body, 3-piece body, got it sprayed with aged Olympic white nitro. It's not been sanded, clear coated, nothing. Weather kind of turned, so hadn't been able to do anything. Just cold and rainy and high humidity, low temperature, not a good time to be spraying. So that's where I've got with it. Got a few places on the body, beat up places. It was already on the guitar. I just left that. I'll work that into the final details of it, as far as, you know, it's earned scars. It's, you know, it'll show up in the end product as a kind of a relic, but it's already there. So it's earned relicing. It's not made. So got that done. Got my bridge figured out. Gonna use the reman or the reproduction saddles, and I've set them somewhere. Here, the patent pending saddles, fender parts. Gonna use those saddles. And I had a USA bridge laying around, and that's what these use. These Fender Japan, this particular model, uses the American bridge spacing, the screws, the string spacing, all that. So this bridge is a little better than the one that came on it. Both of them have the big block, but the bevel on your plate on the Fender American bridge is just a little better. I think it'll work just a little smoother on that account. So we've got the bridge, the saddles, got that part of it. Oh, let's see, it's a lot to try to figure out here. We've got our single line clusins, and I'm going to get back to that in a minute. That's a different story in itself. We got the electronics, which is the CTS pots, orange drop capacitor, you know, our old, I can't remember if this is a Switchcraft or a Oaks, Gridley, whatever. That's good switch, good wires. Got that all ready to go in. Of course, I had to get, you know, new knobs to go with that, age knobs, fender knobs. So that's that. So there's our electronics, our knobs, our bridge, our tuners. Got our neck plate. Got it where we can get it ready to go on when the time comes. And got the aluminum shield and plate that goes under the pick guard. I've got to get the print all off of it where it was stamped or whatever, the metal. Make it kind of look a little older than it is. And as far as the pick guard, we got a nitrocelluloid pick guard, tortoise shell. That's kind of a have-to thing because the plastic stands out. You know, you can't put a plastic pick guard on one of these and it don't stand out. Also got the matching back plate for it, and these are remanufactured, but they're aged, they look the part, they're made out of the right stuff. They have the right bevel on the edges, got the place for your truss rod adjuster deal there. Really, you know, not cheap, but you know, that's going to make it actually look the part. I think with the aged white, the tortoise shell is going to look, you know, it's going to look good on there. So that's kind of where I'm at with that. So that's, I hadn't decided on pickups yet. I may go with the tone hatch because the set I bought for the Gilmore Strat is so great that I may just buy another set to go in this one, because I can't believe those tone hatch pickups, they're great. At least that one set that I bought was. So that's as far as I've got with the body. Like I say, I've got to coat the, you know, put the clear on it, buff it out, do the little aging deal where it needs to be, just where it was already banged up. We'll just highlight that a little bit, and no telling when I'll get to that. The neck I've got sprayed, got you know, the clear on it, but it hadn't been, I hadn't sanded. I've been letting it cure out a little bit, and so got a bone nut to go in it. And of course it had the two tuner or the string tree holes, and I just left that hole because there's no way to fill that without it showing that it's been filled. So I'm going to kind of age around that a little bit, and that'll make it, you know, look like somebody added one and then took it off. There's a problem here that I'll get to in a second. But you know, I've already refretted this thing with some bigger frets, 7 1/4 radius. I actually stuck a little date on the neck, 62, like 362, because this is a slab board, fretboard. It would have been early 62, but it's not going to fool anybody that knows, because the actual old necks from 62, this adjuster was up into the fretboard, in the bottom of the fretboard. These are lower down. This ain't gonna fool anybody as far as somebody that knows what they're looking at. So if somebody down the road somewhere along the line ever comes up on this guitar, before they pay whatever price a 62 is gonna bring in them days, they'll have somebody look at it, and there are several things that's gonna be a dead giveaway pretty quick. One thing I like about this neck that the real 62s have is this transition to the headstock. A lot of the newer guitars, even Fender's reissues and stuff, this is almost a square, almost a volute right here. There's a ridge. It's like it's flat out, then it just drops off. Where this one is really tapered. If I can get, you know, it's really rounded over here, over this way. It's not squared off. If you notice that, it transitions real smooth right there. That's the way they're supposed to look. Also, the holes in the back of for the tuners, I'm not filling those holes. They're probably going to show, but so what? Somebody changed tuners and put the originals back on. It's, like I say, this is going to be kind of a player grade guitar. It's not going to be, and it's not an all-out exact replica, because there's a lot of different things. Like I say, it's going to be a dead giveaway. One is the routing is too smooth. It's not, that don't look right. The type of wood, I'm not sure. I wished I'd have had a picture of this when I had it. This almost looks like this 3-piece body. This top part looked like ash. I mean, it's got good figure into it. It looked like ash. The two lower pieces look like poplar. So, you know, who knows? Could have been. They doesn't look like the same type of wood. Not basswood. It's poplar, and I think ash up here. So, but what I was going to say, the old bodies like 62 weren't routed as deep as the modern bodies. This is like 7/8 deep, I think. If I remember right, the old ones are like 5/8. The cavities weren't routed as deep, and then the tremolo cavity wasn't routed as deep either. So if I go in here and try to cut the little worm route deal, I'm going to cut into the good chance of cutting into the tremolo cavity and messing up the whole thing. But that, if somebody ever looks at this thing, when they pull it apart, that'll be the first thing, the route, the smooth, real smooth routes, the not having that, that'll be a dead giveaway right there. This is not the real thing. So, you know, I'm not building something so exact that it's actually going to fool an expert. Or not even an expert, but just somebody that's done their research that knows what to look for. So, the problem I have with the neck, with the headstock, the tuners, is these holes are drilled out bigger than, you know, the old style holes. So I had a set of the bushings, the oversized bushings. They were too small. So I ordered a set of Clusen, and they just drop in, fall out. That's their oversized ferrules, bushings, whatever. Okay, I did find in my stock of stuff another set, but they're gold, and then the center hole isn't large enough for the post on the Clusens to go through. So I've either got to devise a plan to make these fit tight, or I've got to try to drill the centers of these out and then strip that gold plating off of those. So, you know, I'm not sure exactly yet just how I'm going to do that. You know, I could put dowels in these holes and re-drill them, but that's asking for a lot of trouble, because it won't look right if it's, I mean, that's just too much. Or the other option is just to put a modern set of tuners, somewhat modern set of tuners in there like they've been changed out. And I really don't want to do that, because to me, the old style Clusens, it has the hole in the center of the post that you put the string in, is to me by far the best tuners. That's just the ultimate locking tuner, best tuner. So I'm going to have to come up with an idea on that. So really what I'm waiting on now is I can actually start maybe doing a little sanding on the neck, sanding the clear coat down. I've got a decal to go on it that's period correct. And really that's the main thing, is getting the clear on the body, letting it cure, getting it sanded out, and just kind of sorting out the parts, getting everything. I've got to age some parts. I've been sick with some kind of bad head cold, and I hadn't wanted to get out in the damp weather and try to fool with aging any parts, but that's got to be done. So anyway, that's pretty much just an update on what I've got going on. Like I say, it's cold and rainy, and going to be cold and rainy and holidays, so I don't know when I'm going to get back on this, but may have something else come up. So anyway, that's all my parts, pretty much all I'm using out of the Squire ST62s, the body wood and the neck wood. You know, I've got some clay dots to go in it if I can find them. I put them somewhere, hadn't been able to find them. I'm going to have to either order some more, make some, or something. I could just leave the white in there, because a lot of them are white. In fact, actually, I don't think they were ever clay dots. They were vulcanized fiberboard, I believe, is actually what they actually were. So, got that to do. Got to do a little leveling on the frets. But yeah, I've done the fret job. I've done the paint job. You know, pretty much using pretty much all Fender or Kluson CTS stuff going back. It's going to be straight. And with what I got in the guitar to start with, and I hadn't tallied up all the parts yet, but I'll come out a lot cheaper than if I went and bought a vintage 2 Fender 63 or 1 or whatever they came out with. So, and plus it's my thing, I've done my way, so that makes me happy. So anyway, guys, that's about it. Appreciate everybody watching, and until the next time, see you.